Welcome back to our series in the Biblical Principles for Career Success. In the last session, we explored how David's life is a powerful example of leadership, courage, and faith in God. From David's confrontation with the giant Goliath to his reign as king, David's story taught us many valuable lessons about how we can face challenges, lead with integrity, and embrace our true calling. We also learned that by applying these principles to our careers, we can develop into effective and inspiring leaders who trust in God's guidance and strength. Now, to continue on this same topic, we want to take a look at how David's life it was inspiring in some of the other areas. Right? We want to look at some of the areas in which David's compassion, discernment, and wisdom was demonstrated. And the first section I want to look at is the life of a young man called Mephibosheth. Now, after David became king, it was customary for new kings to eliminate any potential threats from the previous king's family. However, David showed remarkable compassion and loyalty to his friend Jonathan, who was King Saul's son, by seeking out Jonathan's son, Mephibosheth. So in 2 Samuel chapter 9, David asks this question: Is there anyone still left of the house of Saul to whom I can show kindness for Jonathan's sake? When he learns about Mephibosheth, who was crippled in both feet, David brings him to his palace, restores Saul's land to him, and allows Mephibosheth to eat at the king's table regularly. This act of kindness was not only a fulfillment of his promise to his best friend Jonathan, but also a demonstration of David's kindness and his compassionate leadership. Showing compassion and loyalty is an important part of our roles as believers. In our careers, we can follow David's example by showing compassion and loyalty to others, even when it is not required or expected. This can build trust and strengthen relationships in the workplace. Let's take a look at the importance of discernment and wisdom in managing conflicts. David, as you know, was an amazing person, but his life was not without conflict. David faced significant challenges in his relationships with his sons, particularly with his son called Absalom. Absalom rebelled against David, leading to a civil war. Despite the betrayal, David instructed his commanders to deal gently with his son Absalom. And you can read the story in 2 Samuel 18, verse 5. Unfortunately, Absalom was killed in battle, and David mourned deeply for him, showing his deep love and compassion as a father. Now, how does this apply to us? It's really important that we balance justice and compassion in our dealings. David's handling of the conflict with Absalom teaches us the importance of balancing justice with compassion. In leadership, we may need to make difficult decisions, but we should always strive to act with empathy and understanding and lead from the heart with compassion. Now, another significant conflict in David's family involved his son Amnon and his daughter Tamar. Amnon raped Tamar, and David was furious but did not take action. This led to Absalom taking matters in his own hands and killing Amnon. The tragic series of events highlights the complexities of family dynamics and importance of addressing issues promptly and justly. So, how does this apply to us? We must address issues promptly. David's experience with Amnon and Tamar underscores the need for leaders to address conflicts and issues promptly and justly. In our careers, conflicts are bound to happen. Situations, tensions will arise. We should not avoid difficult conversations or decisions, as doing so can lead to greater problems down the line. And so it's really important that we learn some of these principles and we can tap into the biblical wisdom to help us. David demonstrated exceptional political and military leadership. by unifying Israel's tribes. After Saul's death, David was initially anointed king over Judah, but it took several years before he became king over all of Israel. His ability to unite the tribes and establish a strong, centralized kingdom was a testament to his wisdom and his leadership skills. Building unity and consensus is a critical part of our abilities as leaders. In our professional lives, we can learn from David's ability to build unity and consensus. Effective leadership works to bring people together, fostering collaboration and a shared vision. David was also excellent at managing relationships with foreigners. He showed wisdom in managing these relationships with people from foreign states. He established alliances and secured Israel's borders through strategic marriages and military campaigns. His diplomatic skills helped ensure the stability and prosperity of his kingdom. So, how does that apply to us? Well, in our careers, there's something that we can consider is called strategic relationship management. Managing relationships with colleagues, clients, and partners is crucial. Building strong strategic relationships can lead to greater opportunities and success. Let me give you a quick story. When I just started in my current role, one of the things I did was to attend meetings with some of the teams in the organization that I worked with. And as I noticed that whenever I attended various meetings, there was a particular individual, a senior professional, who would also participate in several of these meetings. We reached out to each other offline and made a connection. And we started to support each other like partners in believing. And this relationship has grown and developed to us creating many innovative projects and doing many programs together that have been a great blessing to our organization. This is what I call a strategic relationship. Our relationship benefits both of us, but it also benefits the organization. So, in conclusion, David's life offers a wealth of examples of compassionate, discerning, and wise leadership. David's action towards Mephibosheth, his handling of his family conflicts, and his political and military strategies all provides very valuable lessons to us today. Lessons about how we can tap into our wisdom, compassion, and so on. But it also gives us some lessons about what not to do in terms of not leaving conflicts and challenging situations for too long. So by incorporating these principles into our careers, we can become more effective and compassionate leaders who inspire and guide others with integrity. So before I leave, I want to leave you with a few reflective questions. How can you show compassion and loyalty in your professional relationships? What steps can you take to balance justice and compassion in your leadership decisions? How can you address conflicts and issues promptly and justly in your workplace? What strategies can you use to build unity and consensus within your team or within the broader organization? How can you manage relationships strategically to enhance your career and achieve your goals? Well, I hope that by reflecting on these questions and applying the lessons from David's life, that you can grow as a leader and make a positive impact in your professional journey. Until next time, have a lovely time. I'll see you soon.